Hello Scrappy friends, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to another episode of our journey through the national parks. So if you follow me, you know that I'm currently working on a national park photo album for my daughter. She has done several of the national parks, all of them except for Alaska and Hawaii. I'm putting together a chronological album that will show her timeline of all the national parks that she went to. Some of them she has repeated several times, like Yosemite. She goes there at least once a year, but most of them she's only been to one time. So I'm at a point in the album where I have several parks where she gave me a lot of photos to put in, and I have to make that decision. Do I want to carry it over to another 2-page layout or try and keep it all on one? So I've been trying to come up with different ways to try and keep it to one layout. If you haven't seen the one right before this one, I had a multi-pocket page in the middle, and I had it set up so that the pages were decorated, but then the loose pocket page just had the extra photos. So I don't want to do that on every layout. So I kind of want to change it up and keep the album very interactive for her. So here we are, and we are at Zion National Park in Utah. And here I have 16 photos that I want to get on. I want to try and keep it to this 2-page layout. So I came up with an idea and I wanted to pop on here and show you where I'm going with this. So right now there's a little bit of a trend going around if you haven't seen it, and it's to get a lot of photos on the page. You put cascading photos across the page like this, and you put them inside Peekaboo Pockets. So I thought this will be the perfect layout for it. I have 5 photos down here. I'm going to put each one inside a Peekaboo Pocket. And then when I flip it over, I'll be able to get one more photo underneath. So I'll be able to get 10 photos right down here in this 6-inch section. And then I'll be able to disperse the other 6 photos around the layout. And I'll even be able to get on a little bit of decoration. So I've kind of lined these up already of how I want to do them. And what I have here is I positioned them ever so perfectly that I have her showing up in each of the part of the photo that will be cascading through the layout. This is the part that's going to be on top. So I thought it was cute because the top page will have these little clips of her, and then when you open, you'll see the whole photo underneath, and then there'll be another photo on the back side as well. So I think that's going to be super fun for her to look through. And then what I have underneath, because you have to have something underneath here, and I could have just had pattern paper, but I had this perfect piece of memorabilia. Now this, she didn't give this to me. Somebody gave me a couple things from Zion National Park, and I don't even remember where I got it. I'm pretty sure this is photo safe, but it's going to be okay, because it's going to be on the bottom here, and all the photos that are on top of it will be in Peekaboo Pockets. So I feel like it'll be protected, but it's perfect because it's going to come right down here at the bottom. And what I'm going to do actually is cut this piece and weld these together and then lay the photos on. So once she's done flipping all the photos, she'll see this beautiful postcard kind of thing with all the scenic photos. So I thought that was a perfect use of this and a perfect use getting those photos on there. The rest of the page should come together very quickly. Up here I have 2 photos. I've already cut one down, and I think what I'll do is put them up here and probably bring in a piece of paper. I have this pattern paper, and I want to kind of bring in the rusty kind of color that we see in the mountains in Zion. So I thought that really looks good on here. So maybe I'll bring in a strip here, kind of tuck these together. I don't want to cut too much more out of these photos. This one I haven't trimmed at all, but I love that blue sky. I don't want to cut any more out of here. So I'll probably just put a little strip across like this and trim it down right there. Then I'll bring a piece over to the other side as well. Now these photos down here, I could do some trimming on. In fact, I have my template here, and I think I can do a 4x4s, and I think that they will all be perfect. And then what I'll do is line them up down here at the bottom, kind of giving the same effect as these. They'll be permanent on the page. I'm just not sure about this. I might just bring in a little strip, the top and the bottom, so I can tie the two pages in together. And then on the top up here, I just have this one photo of both my daughters. They did this trip together, and I kind of want that front and center right there. And then I have to decide on a journaling spot and what I'm going to do. But I have a nice big area here that I can put a journaling area. So let me go ahead, get these welded together, get the pictures in their Peekaboo Pockets. I'm going to come back and show you how I make that cascade across the page, and I'll cut down a couple strips from the rusty paper and see where we're going. Okay, I'm back, and this is what I have so far. So here's my cascading photos down here. These do have to go on top of the page protector, but I have to get the entire layout completed first, and then I'll slide it into the protector and adhere these to the top. So this is 12 inches across. I have 5 photos, so that they should be spaced every 1.5 inches or so. Since I'm playing with the idea of having a little bit of her popping out on each one, then I'm gonna maybe have to play around with that a little bit when I go to adhere it onto the page. But the idea is they'll be somewhat evenly spaced as we go through, and then it'll all fit nicely across the 12-inch. Up here, I put these two on a little piece of that rust looking paper, and I put it on top of the green and then welded the green and that Zion postcard here. This has worked out great because now I won't need a title. I'll just have to bring the year in somewhere. So that's going to look like that. And then over here, I went with a little bit just shy of 4 inches here. It's like 3 7/8 around these photos. I thought that was perfect, so I can see a little bit of the rust color coming through. I went ahead and did a 50/50 here so that I could bring the green across and then bring in some of that rust color here. And these two, I have a lot of open space because of that, so I'll probably drop these photos, this photo and the journaling card, down a little bit to look something like that. So I'm not going to do a ton of embellishing because there is a lot going on here. I mean, this is 16 photos on a double page layout. So, but what I want to do is move this out of the way. I do want to bring in this really thin border sticker. Now I went into my stash and I just started pulling out some things that I thought would look great for this, and I had this cute border sticker. Now here's the thing, in the Zion it's mostly the red deserty look, but there's a lot of green also, and that's why I wanted to highlight the green to help my photos pop. So I thought this was perfect. It's kind of like a rusty brown and a green, and it's just a little arrows, and I thought that's going to look perfect right over the seam where those two papers transition. So I'm going to do this side first. I want to go up above the postcard as much as I can, because when the Peekaboo Pockets are on there, I still want to be able to see some of this. So I just want to go something like that. Again, it's just covering up that transition seam between those two. So yeah, I like that. That's perfect. Slide these back up and we can still see it even with the Peekaboo Pockets in place. And let's do one more on the other side. There we go. So I want to do a little bit of embellishing right here. And for that, I just grabbed some things from my stash. I have these cute little vellum pieces that I happened to find at a thrift store a while back. They're all hiking and stuff related. Isn't that just the gorgeous little vellum embellishment that you've ever seen? I just love the detail. And it does pop pretty nicely on the green like that. I wasn't too sure, so it looks great on white. But I think it looks pretty good on the green as well. I want that right here because it's with her hiking boots, and in some of these other ones you can see her backpack, so I thought that'd be great. And I have this tree. I'm kind of thinking I have this vertical space here, so I'll bring this tree in like that, and maybe the little pine cone behind it like this as well. Probably save the wood for another layout. Now and that's all I'm gonna do on this side. I'm gonna keep it very simple because my focus will be down here on all these photos that I have in the Peekaboo Pockets. So on this side, now I have something else that someone gave me, are these like little stickers. It came in a pack, and actually the pack was all 3 of the same pose. So I won't need all of those, but I do like these, and they do peel off and they'll stick right on here. So I'm thinking I want to bring that in somewhere around here. I like the white border, so I'll keep that and probably tuck it, the journaling card, a little bit. There we go. And then right here, I want to bring in this cute deer embellishment I had in my stash because she's doing that with the deer, and I thought this would be perfect right over here. And let's see, I want the deer's head kind of right in the green area there. Let's scoot it up. There we go. I like that. And then I have this cute little sign that says hiking trail. And I want to kind of cover up this little spot here. So I'm going to kind of put it at an angle just to have a little bit of fun with it. And that's all the embellishing I'm going to do on this. I feel like there's a lot going on with all the photos and these scenic stickers here, as well as the scenic postcard underneath. So let me get all the last minute things adhered down. I'm going to grab the album, slide the pages in, and we're going to come back and work on this cascading part right here. Hold on. Okay, here we are in the album. Let me scoot it over here. We're going to work on the cascading part of the page. I have my ruler laying here to show you. I have these somewhat evenly spaced out. This one will start at the very, very edge, and then I went about 2 inches and then started the next one, another 2 inches and started the next one, and so on. And now mine worked out perfectly like that. I did swap these 2 photos around. I would have been okay. I thought I was going to have to scoot this one in more so I can see more of this, and I might at the very end here. I like how it's flowing, and now all I have to do is take off the sticky part on the back, and on each one you'll see it has a little film, and I'm just going to adhere it into the album. And this one will probably be one of the most important ones because it has to go right off here to the very edge, and I'll get that in there. I'm going to put you on fast forward while I continue with the rest of them. I just played with the alignment of some of them a little bit more. Like I was saying, I think it's kind of cute that she's kind of like a little snapshot of each of her throughout her different hikes and things. And then here's what it looks like. There we go. There we go. And you can see as it goes through, each one has a little bit more of the word Zion coming through, National Park, and then you can start seeing some of the pretty scenic photos back there. So you can see how you can get away with just having a piece of pattern paper behind there as well. But there we go. And I don't think it takes up that much more room in the album. It's still pretty thin. So I think that's a great interactive way to get all 16 photos onto this 2-page layout. I hope that you like that. Stay tuned. I'll be posting more about my National Park album because I really want to get this first volume done by Christmas time. And if you want to see more about the National Park book I've been creating, check out the links right over here. Until next time, everybody, take care. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.